Hey everybody, how are you doing today on this fine Sunday? So I just want to talk to you today about two items that are critical. Once you've got your entity, you've got your LLC or your corporation, preferably in the state of Wyoming. And I will be doing a video about Wyoming this week. Preparing some an upgrade that allows me to basically sorry, I will be doing an upgrade this week, and that'll allow me to share a screen, and I can show you a document that I'm putting together about Wyoming for LLCs and corporations. But there's two documents. Once you get your LLC or corporation, once you get your EIN from the IRS, once you get your business bank account, then you want to establish contact with lenders or private money brokers. And I'll do a video this week also on private money brokers. I'm also going to do one on correspondent lenders, which are a different type of lender. And then I will do one on the hard money and private money lenders, which I consider them the same. There's a lot of arguments out there and people actually get angry, which they shouldn't. It's just a matter of opinion. I mean, some people think that the hard money lenders are, that one is friends and family or acquaintances, and the other is like more of a business. They're the one and the same. So let's just, private money lender and hard money lender, as far as my YouTube and I'm concerned, they're the same. But two things you'll need. One is a lender's list. You need to set up with about 5 lenders, regular lenders. You should also look for gap lenders or the short-term lenders. Now, gap it's hard. Everybody's asking for gap. It's hard. So I'm working on trying to get about 5 or 6 good gap lenders. I'm also working on getting some different types of specialty lenders. Like I have a correspondent lender right now who's doing able to do rural lending, and he's able to do some pretty significant things. I'm going to invite him on for an episode to go over his company, what he does, what he's able to do, and his different programs. But it's a phenomenal program. I'm probably going to be having about 2 to 3 lenders on a week that'll come on and do a full presentation. I'll do a discussion with them. And then we'll also be doing probably every 2 weeks or so, maybe once a week, we'll do a Zoom where we'll invite all the subscribers on. We'll have some lenders, we'll have some different people, and it'll be like a round table and then open discussion and question and answer period. But you need your lenders list, and you also need a borrower's checklist. So let me just kind of go over one thing real quick on the borrower's checklist. So you're going to want to prepare a couple of things, guys. So let me pull it up real quick so I make sure I got it. So you're going to want to have all this together, your documentation. You want to have a pre-loan application if your lenders are going to require an application. I have loan applications that you can actually white label. I can send you that. They will actually be uploaded this week into my Facebook group. And don't forget the Facebook page is facebook.com/the-OPM show. And then you can find the link to the 2 groups, and one's going to be private this week, and I'll be inviting subscribers and other things, and one will be public because the public ones can sometimes become a free-for-all. So you're going to want your pre-loan application. There's also 2 schedules. These are XLs. One is the schedule of real estate owned, and the other is the schedule of real estate sold. These are separate XLs. They want to know, do you own any property right now, including your primary residence? Have you sold any, including primary residences? Another thing is called a zero tolerance fraud policy. Not every lender requires this, but it is just for just the purposes of just having it. You should definitely do the zero fraud, that you acknowledge that lenders do some pretty sophisticated checks these days to find out fraud. One of the most prevalent types of fraud is people trying to use hard money or to do a primary residence, an owner occupied, which is actually against the Dodd-Frank Act. I will be doing a special episode sometime in June on the Dodd-Frank Act. And then also, if you have a broker, their fee agreement, which is kind of a direction to pay to the lender and eventually to the title company, which will be on the HUD-1. And I'll do a HUD one, I'll post one, and I'll show you what line the broker fee is usually put in. So that way you get that a couple of days before the closing, and that way your broker fee's in there, and it's what you agree. Most of the time when I do a broker fee for my clients, my private clients, I do 1 to 3 points. And sometimes it depends on the lender, because some lenders will only let you do 1 point, some will let you do 3. You're also going to want to have your entity documents. You're going to want to have your articles of incorporation or your documents. If you get it from Wyoming, from either of the two companies that I recommend, they will get you that document. And then you also want your EIN letter from the IRS showing that you have your tax ID. And then you'll also want to have any operating agreement or bylaws, which again, if you use either of the two providers that I have in Wyoming, they will provide those to you. You're going to have your guarantor. If you have a guarantor, some lawyers want a guarantor to be anybody over 10%, some are over 20%. That'll depend on your private money broker or your lender and what they tell you, what they need. But you'll need their ITN letter or social security card, because they'll need their ID. They do actually run. They check FICO, but they're not looking at specific things. I mean, you can actually do a bankruptcy as long as it's discharged. Most hard money lenders and the private money lenders I work with will actually still finance you, but they look to see what your FICO is generally so that they can tier you. So you could be getting 15%, you could be getting 10. So they also want to have any of your personal tax returns or your corporate tax returns. They're going to want to have the purchase and sale agreement and any copy of the earnest money deposit showing that you actually have paid the deposit. That's part of a responsibility. It shows responsibility. They will check that. You're also going to want your bank statements. Some are going to want 2 months, some are going to want 3. They're also going to check your bank account sometimes using Plaid. You can look up Plaid, just Google it, and they have a system where you can go on. It's all secure, and they basically just lets the lender go and verify that your bank account is basically open without giving too much information away. Any investment retirement statements. So if you have investments or retirements, and your ACH form and a voided check. So they're going to want a voided check. They want to know you have a bank account, things like that. And then this will be a business bank account unless specific, but it is business. Consider that almost everything here is business. And then they do have insurance on the property. So what you want to do with insurance is you want to basically have it, you want to contact like your homeowner's insurance company and ask them for a separate but specific property. That way you can insure it. And unfortunately, most companies, I mean, I'll get a few that are probably more geared towards real estate, but generally you have to pay for 12 months in advance and you can just cancel. You can talk to your agent about that. I'm not an insurance expert. I will try to get one on here to explain how they work, but you're going to want to also put the mortgage, I mean, not the mortgage, but the lender, put the lender has additional insured. And then you're going to want to have hazard insurance and flood insurance if it's applicable. You'll also want to, there's some resources you can check for flood insurance if you're required. And, you know, you're in New Orleans or Florida, Mississippi, there's some other places. You're going to know that from your, from when you buy the property, you can research it. And then you're going to want title, preliminary title report, and a property survey if applicable. So you're going to want to get the title company to provide you a title certificate. And then any rehab information, you're going to want your contractor's bid, your general contractor's license, and their insurance information. And you're going to want to verify it before you send it to them. Call the insurance company. Don't call the agent. I've actually seen in the past where somebody had a fake certificate. Now, this was in my construction business. They had a fake, they were a subcontractor. They had a fake, a friend of theirs just pretend to be an agent and say that their certificate was good. A homeowner might have just let that go. But you should always check their insurance by calling the insurance carrier. You're also going to want a draw schedule. You're going to want to know when the payments are going to be, when your draws are going to be done. And a cool tool, and I'll show you this later on in a different video where I'm going to talk about some different vendors and service providers. One of them is Company Cam. I'll go into that later. But you're going to want to do your draw schedule. And I do have a white label form, a couple of different versions, so you can actually look at how you do a draw schedule and how you do your scope of work, because I have like 3 or 4 different variations of the scope of work form. So you can learn how to do that. Some are very detailed, some are organized, and then you tie the draw schedule to the scope of work. So that pretty much is going to be break down what you want for your borrower's checklist. I'm going to provide, I have a couple different ones from different lenders that I've worked with. I'm going to put those into the Facebook group in the files section. So that way you guys can actually look at it on your own. And I would just prepare, you're not going to need every one of these documents for every lender, But I would ideally is I would start building your business and build a package. Just save it as a document line item, in one folder on your computer, and just save the documents you need to submit. So that way you can just go and boom, 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 and send them all. So that's really the borrower's checklist. Now, what I'm also going to talk about, guys, as the lender list. So a lot of people, we see it in almost every group on in Facebook and social media. Hey, I need a lender. Then all of a sudden, out of the woodwork comes all kinds of people. Hey, talk to me. What's your scenario? One of my pet peeve statements. What's your scenario? Things like that. Everyone comes out of the woodwork. You guys see it all the time. So I have a list of a considerable amount of lenders that I will provide all the subscribers 100% free. All you have to do is like, share, and subscribe, and I will get you the lenders list. I'm going to put it in the private Facebook group, which is going to be invitation only to subscribers. But I can tell you that I have a substantial document that I have probably close to 250 lenders. I have updated most of them. I've still got a few more to do as far as COVID goes, because some of them were not operating at full capacity during COVID. So as of May 1st, I probably have about 3/4 of them updated. And then I will also be putting together a separate list of just EMD lenders, gap lenders, and lenders that will take second, liens and all that stuff. So that's probably 2 documents that I will actually provide. I will put the borrower's checklist and the lender's list in the private Facebook group. And then it's for subscribers. That's all I ask is you like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to put some other documents, like I said, the scope of work, the draw schedules. There'll be a couple for real estate experience, things like that, a couple sample applications, a couple sample credit applications. You can actually white label, if they're in Word, you can download them and white label them and edit them, put your own stuff in there if you want to participate. I'm going to be doing a whole series of videos for training private money brokers. I can actually train you as well to go in and basically broker your own money. You set up a separate LLC and even a bank account and EIN, and you basically do your own client agreement and send that into the lender, make 1 to 3 points. Let's say you have a $300,000 property and you're getting 2 points. Well, you get $6,000 to the closing. What can you do with that $6,000? Could you use that as labor to pay the first set of labor for your contractor ahead of the draws? So the draw just that first draw or whatever reimburses you on that $6,000, and then you could use that for anything that comes up in the project. That's your money. You're getting paid. It's income. So you can do that. And so if you look in the private money brokers stuff that I'll be starting to put up about mid-June, I'm going to probably put about 20 videos related to private money brokers and how to be a private money broker, including the fact that I'm going to put my six priority lenders, the lenders that pay well, and they have great relationships with brokers. So, which isn't always easy. And we'll also be talking about Scotsman Guide as well. But I'm going to introduce you guys to a lot of lenders. You're going to be seeing individual videos with their full presentations. And then you'll be, like I said earlier, in the first part of this episode, you'll actually be able to come on the roundtables and listen to 2 or 3 or 4 different vendors and service providers, including lenders, and then do a question and answer period with them. So all you have to do is like, share, and subscribe. Also let you know that my webcam and microphone and all that is on back order. I should get it about the second week of June. So that'll help with a lot of the video. I'm going to get a few things going right. Also expect a few people this week, a few guests. Kevin will be back. Kevin and then Jesse Page as well as one of my partners. Jesse and Kevin, I'll be doing a lot of videos together. And then I also will be introducing you to Paul Hagee at some point, who's one of my best friends, known 15 years. Paul's going to come in and talk about scope of work. He's has had a successful construction business for 15 years, almost going on 20. And he's also got a lot of banking experience prior to that. He was a private banker. And I'm also then going to introduce you guys in a couple of weeks to Sean Doolittle, one of my other partners. Sean's kind of a subject matter expert in hemp and cannabis, and he's going to come on and talk about some of the things in there that need to be done before the cannabis industry gets full banking nationwide. So that's one thing where you're going to see some other verticals come on. You guys, if you saw the video with Kevin already, you heard about osmium. If you're interested in osmium, I'm going to do a special video this week on osmium. You can actually become an osmium, just, representative for free. They actually will certify you. There's a 32 question test. After you pass the test, you get 6% commission on your sales. You can take a 6% discount. Right now, osmium is trading at about right around 18.50 a gram. And we're going to do a special video on this. But back to the lenders list and borrowers checklist, I will be uploading those tomorrow into the private Facebook group. But one of the groups will go private tomorrow. The other one will stay public. Public will not have a file section. And then the private one will have a file section where you'll see the checklist, you'll see the scope of work, you'll see a lot of documents. All you have to do, like I said, is share and subscribe. So if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to put them in comments or contact me. You can find me on Facebook, generally, obviously with the OPM show and then you can also email me, Nate@NateMarshallCapital.com. So again, I thank you for coming and watching this video. I'm probably going to put 200 to 300 up over the next 3 or 4 months. I'm going to start doing 2 or 3 a day. I'll also start doing the book reviews. Like I said, I'm going to do Lucifer's Banker, The Big Short, and Dope Sick this week. And then next week, I'll be doing Bad Blood, and I'll be doing some stuff on Bernie Madoff, as well as Enron and WorldCom. And then I'll be getting into more and more real estate related financial crises and things starting in June. So probably about a month where I'll probably be doing about 20 videos on just different, some of it will be from American Greed, some of them are some other cases that I've been interested in, just to teach you the do's and don'ts. I will be introducing you to a couple of securities attorneys in June and some other, like I said, other service providers. So all you got to do to get all this information is just share and subscribe. I thank you for joining and have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you.